What's up, babes? Making another video today. We are talking about Chainsaw Man, but before that, I got a bunch of new posters. Right before this video happened, my Usopp one fell, but I'm gonna get that reframed. But as you can see from this Nami one, very clean. I got a big Berserk one too that I'm excited for. I went to my first anime convention, dressed up as this here Shy Guy. It was actually Spear Guy. I had a spear and I had a lot of fun. It was a crazy weekend, but yeah, that was intense. I spent too much on merch. There was one guy who wanted to play Smash for a discount on a poster, and I was like, absolutely. And that's where I got Rengoku right there. So I got a lot more smaller posters, which is nice, because usually I have like just the big ones. So it's nice that I can mix those up now too. So yeah, that was interesting. But anyway, back to Chainsaw Man, and why I think it's going to be the next big anime. I would say kind of after like Naruto dissolved, per se. One Piece has kind of always been there, and I am playing One Piece music, but it's always kind of been there. But Naruto was kind of the big thing, a lot of the starting for most people. But I think My Hero kind of ushered people into the new gen, along with a couple others. But I feel like now there's even a newer gen, and I think Chainsaw Man, Jujutsu is gonna issue people into this new era of anime. And I know they're working on it. I'm not entirely sure on the start date for it, but I know they're working on it. I had it recommended to me a long time ago, probably like a year and a half ago, and I didn't read it, and I wasn't that into it. My buddy asked me, he's like, do you recommend anything? And I'm like, Chainsaw Man? So he read it, and he was like, damn, it was really good. What did you think about it? And I'm like, well, I haven't read it. So I started reading it when I went on a trip, and I binged that in like a couple days, because it was good. It was easy to read too, and it was good. And something I noticed, along with Jujutsu, I'm going to put in Demon Slayer as well. Demon Slayer is kind of just getting started, even though the manga is completed. What's interesting about that one and Chainsaw Man, where they are similar. Now, Jujutsu Kaisen is also farther along in the manga than I think even Demon Slayer in terms of chapters. Obviously, it's not complete like Demon Slayer, but it's further along. Chainsaw Man's only about 100 chapters. They set up the next arc, and I'm very excited because there was a very large twist at the end. I'm not going to spoil anything. I'm just going to try to entice you to maybe watch this. But what I see similarities-wise with Chainsaw Man and Demon Slayer, with Demon Slayer's popularity, is the manga was very simple, very quick, not crazy art like Berserk. Like I will always brag about Berserk and its art style and how beautiful it looks and all its paneling and stuff like that. Chainsaw Man's a lot rougher around the edges, but it's interesting. It has its powers, it has its demons, which is like the new fad. It just seems everywhere everything has demons of sorts that everyone just loves, and that's kind of the new thing. Another thing that I really like about Chainsaw Man in reading through it, not only was it an easy read, but the characters were different. Now I feel like with My Hero and Demon Slayer, the main character is kind of this like softer, not really a fan of violence, but sometimes is forced into it depending on the situation. But what's so interesting about Denji, who is the main character, and it starts off very simply, this isn't a spoiler, but there's these like creatures throughout the world, and they are demons, and there's a group that goes out and kills these demons. Now, what I like is the main character is just this poor guy who is in a ton of debt, and he needs to pay off the debt, so he hunts them himself. Now he has his little like chainsaw dog, the cutest little dog. I think his name's like Pachita or something like that, but the cutest little orange dog with a chainsaw just going right through his head. They get into a situation where they can't really get out of it, and they end up fusing. Now what this does is that makes that guy a thing over there, Chainsaw Man. And he's able to turn into this thing where he can just get chainsaws out of his hands and out of his head. Going back to kind of what I was saying about the main character, Denji is so different because he just does not care. He doesn't care. His life has always been bad, and he mentions that at the very beginning. But what's so interesting is just like he's so simplistic. Once Makima, the like the main person in the foundation that brings him in, who finds him after killing all the demons when he transformed into Chainsaw Man, she's just like, you're literally going to be like my dog. I'll feed you, and you're going to do what I say. If not, I'm going to kill you. And most people would be like, no, like screw you, lady. I'm not gonna do that. But he's like, he's grown up alone, like basically his whole life. His only friend was the thing that just fused with him. And he's like, yeah, you're gonna feed me? Absolutely, you're gonna pay me? So his life went from like horrible to basically being a slave, but he's like a fan of it because he just hasn't had anything else. And now he actually develops as a character in a way that I haven't seen just about any main character develop as. And that's kind of like my big selling point with Chainsaw Man is Denji. Now, you might not think that when you're watching it to begin with, but once it starts to progress, it's very interesting because I feel, and especially just even in my writing, like the traditional main character, right? It's the Naruto, it's the Luffy, it's the guy who eats a lot, never backs down, never gives up, just goes out there, fights evil, and usually wins after some adversity, right? But Chainsaw Man, he's just kind of like, I will turn into this and I will destroy people. And slowly they make their way up with demons. They have to fight certain ones that get like harder and harder. There's really interesting dialogue. There's really interesting relationships between the characters, and there always seems to be this undermining point that like nobody understands. And now the thing is he's like half a demon. I'm pretty sure they're demons. They're demons. But he's half a demon because he fused with this thing. And even though it was a very low-grade demon, they're like, well, you're not really a person. Like, you're kind of just a demon. And there's even a training arc portion, which I love, with Captain... Let me look up his name. His name's like right here. Captain Kashibi. And what I love so much about Captain Kashibi is with Denji and the character known as Power, who is introduced pretty early on into the like division that they're in. Power is also a demon. She's another weird one, but she slowly bonds with Denji as like friends and fellow demons, and they have a very interesting beginning to that relationships. But it's just like so flipped on its head. It takes place in the real world in Japan, but Captain Kashibi during this training arc, to get back to it, he'll just blow off their heads. He'll kill them because they're demons, and like these demons will regenerate. So it's like, yeah, I'm gonna train you, but you're gonna feel pain. And like they feel pain while doing it, but it makes them so much better in the process. And they bond you to so many characters. Another fantastic selling point and things that I like about more recent manga or anime is the violence, the gore. It has it. It has lots of gore, lots of death. It'll introduce you to a character and then boom, that character's gonna die. And I feel like that just always keeps you on your toes, where you can never feel too safe. The kind of the Game of Thrones effect, which I've always liked. I've always liked anime like that. Obviously, One Piece and Naruto I love. They don't really kill that many people, just because a lot of them are crucial to the story. I could go on for days about those two, but yes. Some other really good characters. I really like Aki Hayakawa. I have the names up just because they're a little tough to pronounce sometimes. But he's kind of like their leader. He has this crazy sword, and they make contracts with these demons in order to use their power to hunt other demons. And there's like the demon hierarchy where they're like, hey, we have to kill this one because this one's killed however many people. Like the biggest one was Gun, and Gun killed like, I think it was like around 200,000 people, maybe even 1 million, and nobody can find it. Nobody knew who or what it was. And you come to find out, like, some people disguised as regular humans actually turn out to be these demons, just like the main character, Denji. So then Denji's going through this whole thing without a thought in the world. I remember they get trapped in, like, this little demon spell area thing. And he's like, I have time to sleep? These beds are so comfy. Because he had such a low quality of life that just his reaction to the modern world is not good. And I think he's like 15 or 16, which is like the classic main character age. But another thing he wants is just a girlfriend. And that's kind of how he reacts with... That's Power, by the way. With Power almost immediately is he's like, I want this one to be my girlfriend. And same with Makima, which is the one who said, like, you're my slave. He's like, I love her. And she's like, if you kill the gun demon, I will give you whatever you want. And then he's like... He's a 15 or 16-year-old kid, so he's like, okay, deal. And he always goes out there. He goes crazy. The power leveling up and the training really develop him as a character. And the twist at the end, like I said, is just on point. So I think it's really going to just take off because everyone's going to love the gore of it. Everyone's going to love that they're on their toes. It's already pretty big manga-wise. It's by the same people that create, I believe, Demon Slayer. I'm pretty sure. It was the whole anime group that got in trouble for like low standard of care for their animators, but regardless of that, I think it's going to be good. So hopefully they clean up their act. But I think Chainsaw Man is going to be coming out here pretty soon. I know Demon Slayer's like in October or something like that, but this is probably going to be like early next year is my guess. But just be on the lookout for it. And if you get bored of the anime, just go and read it. Because I don't know how much they're going to do in a single session. Like I said, it moves pretty quick. It moves pretty quick, but I could see them very much slowing it down into arcs based on what they do. But it doesn't feel like a arc-based manga, unless you count the whole first part as the arc, because like I told you, there is a twist. But unless you count the whole first part as its own arc, I don't even know if they could squeeze that into a season, but I would love if they did. They definitely will not, just because it's the same studio did Demon Slayer, and a lot of their seasons are not that many chapters. And what I find so funny about that is when you're reading it, it's just like the quickest read in the world. Well, I'm actually flipping on my phone. But it's the quickest read in the world because of, I don't want to say the quality because that sounds mean, but yeah, I can't draw either, but these guys are like a step above for sure, but there's definitely better mangaka out there. But their creativeness and creativity and storytelling ability with the plot, the powers, everything that they involve in it is great. So you're in good hands animation-wise. A lot of you probably won't even read the manga, and I don't blame you because a lot of people don't. I just like getting to the point. I don't like to wait. But it'll be good. And I'll probably be watching it, and it's probably going to have some amazing set-piece scenes, just like Demon Slayer does, because I'm telling you, in the manga, it is not the same. Some of these scenes are crazy. Like when Rengoku powers up, that guy right there, when he powers up in the manga, nah. Like it's like that, and that's probably the most detailed panel in the chapter, but no. Plus the music and everything. I could go on, but I just think Chainsaw Man, for those reasons, is going to be the next big anime that we're going to be seeing. There's definitely some other stuff coming out, but I think this one's really going to catch people's attention. Just like Demon Slayer, just like Jujutsu Kaisen, which is everyone's like new favorite. They're in love, and Demons is kind of the underlying thing there, and then humans fusing with demons is also the underlying thing there. So it's basically like Demon Slayer and Jujutsu kind of had a baby. It's a little bit messier than that. I wouldn't necessarily describe it exactly like that, but the structure of it is very similar. So definitely watch it. I think it's worth. I was reading it and I did very much like it. I don't like it as much as Demon Slayer. It's obviously not done yet, but I didn't like it as much as Demon Slayer. But when reading it, it's an easy read. It's an easy read. I think it's going to be a fun watch, and yeah, I'm excited to see where this one goes for sure. I will be continuing to read this, so I recommend it, reading or watching it, but it will be the next big anime, and that's all I have. So like if you liked it, subscribe please, because it helps, and yeah, comment if you have something to say, because I don't think many people have read it. I think a lot of people know about it, like my roommate for example knows about it but does not know what it's about, and I thought I knew what it's about, and then it kind of flips itself on its head, which is kind of a spoiler, but not really. So watch it. It'll be coming out soon. So thanks again for watching, and peace out.